Good morning and welcome back to the channel. So, in this video today, we're going to talk about a kind of session that we do occasionally. You know, as runners, we do lots of different sessions, but today's is going to focus on the progression run. If you're new to this channel, we'd love for you to subscribe. And of course, if you've been in this channel before, please give us a thumbs up and a like. It means a lot to us.
So this video is going to be divided into three sections. Firstly, we're going to talk about what a progression run is. Secondly, we're going to talk about the benefits of the progression run for your training mix. And thirdly, Dawn and I are going to progression runs, Dawn on the treadmill, me outside trying to use my Garmin to pace it, and we'll take you through different ways in which you can try to put together a progression run to support your training.
So John, what's a progression run?
Well, a progression run is a run where you start at a slower pace and progressively move through gears to end up at a faster pace. And that can be any range really. That can start at very easy, ending up at steady. It could be starting at steady and ending up at specific goal race pace. So you basically progress through various paces from slower to faster.
So folks, what are the benefits of progression running?
Well, the first benefit is it allows you to build gradually into that higher tempo towards the end of the run, which minimises the risk of injury. Rather than doing your warm-up and then getting straight into tempo pace, because you're gradually building up into it, your muscles are well warmed up and therefore you're less likely to pick up injuries than doing repeated up-tempo interval sessions.
So the second benefit is that it's actually fun and it adds variety to your running.
That's right, the fact you're getting progressively quicker during the run gives you a sense of mental well-being, it gives you a sense of strength, that you're in control of your run, you're getting faster and faster, you've still got something left in the tank at the end. So it is a good run to do in terms of your psychological well-being. So third benefit is progression running can improve your endurance base and your speed endurance without building up excessive amounts of fatigue. We actually did a progression run each on Wednesday morning of this week, and by Friday we're ready to do a harder tempo run session, which is unusual for us. We normally need an extra day's recovery, so the decreased levels of fatigue as opposed to a normal tempo or interval run, plus the aerobic endurance benefits are really the third feature of progression runs.
So another benefit of progression running is that it teaches you excellent pace judgment.
That's right, in a race ideally you want to be running a slight negative split. Negative split brings a positive experience. So by progression running and by trying to dial into the specific paces you're trying to run for that particular mile or half mile or however long you've got your different progressions running for, helps you to then feel from your breathing, from your leg turnover and from your just general internal feedback to your brain how fast you're running, what level of effort you're putting in and whether that is sustainable. So now we're going to take you through some different ways in which you can nail a progression run. So over to Dawn on the treadmill.
So folks, it's 6 AM in the UK and I'm on my treadmill warming up my legs. Very difficult to run at this time in the morning when you've just rolled out of bed, but there's many of us all over the world who have a working day that need to do this.
So guys, mile one. Dawn, how fast are you running?
So my first mile is at 9:20, which is the pace I would normally do for a recovery run. So I'm using this as my warm-up mile into my 5-mile progression run.
That looks a nice place to run. Where are you today?
I'm doing a loop that's called Chili Pepper in Watopia. So my second progressive mile is moving up 20 seconds to around the 9-minute mile mark. So now guys, I'm on mile 4 and I've just moved up to 8:19. So now this is where I start to really focus on the run because my body's now working slightly harder.
In terms of pace, Dawn is currently running slightly slower than what we'd expect a marathon pace to be at present, but that doesn't matter because what we're getting is a progressive workout based on perceived levels of effort at 6 o'clock in the morning.
So folks, I've just moved into my final mile number 5, and I've increased the pace again, and it's now around 7:58. Now that's again slower than my marathon pace, but the effort feels good. Doing something like this is like a nice light session, which still allows you to do your main session in the week. So this is just a nice getting the legs moving, getting the heart rate up, but it doesn't take anything out of me. So when I come to do my main session of the week, I've still got the legs to do it. And folks, that's my progression run done, and I feel really quite good after that. And gradually up the pace throughout the run when my legs were loose enough and felt comfortable and my breathing felt comfortable to be able to do that. So that's one way in which you can nail a progression run.
So halfway into mile 2, I've just managed to dial into the correct preset pace from the watch. 8:58 pace so far on mile 2. So that's a session pretty much nailed, although not as I expected it. First mile was a bit quick, 9-minute miling when it should have been 9:20, that's because I'd already warmed up first. Second mile I think was 8:57, when it should have been 9, then 8:37 when aiming for 8:40, and 8:20 when aiming for 8:20, and a 7:49 when aiming to go just a bit quicker than 8, so nailed. However, the Garmin didn't do what I expected it to do. I expected it to do what it did on the first mile and tell me what pace I was running for that mile so I could calibrate my efforts exactly. As it seemed to do the last 4 miles as one discrete block, so I had to go by the average pace at the time, apply my O-level maths, thank you Mr. Steer, 1984 to 1986, taught me well, so I could gather by the average about what pace I was on for that particular mile, and as we've seen it was only between 0 and 3 seconds out each time. So I had to use my own nous, my own mathematical ability, and my experience of running at what each pace should feel like to nail that session. So a lesson there, hardwiring what paces should feel like should the technology not behave as you expect it to.
So there you've seen me on a treadmill, and you've seen John with it pre-programmed into his watch.
So other ways in which you might organise a progression run, if you have access to a track, you can get down there. Obviously tracks are 400 metres long, you've got lines every 100 metres, so you could actually get very precise pace judgment there if you wish to do that.
I think we're being joined by a horse.
You may wish to run progression intervals. We saw a session recently on another YouTube channel, Kellogg's on the Run. I think she was doing 5 minutes of progression intervals with either 1 or 2 minute recovery and aiming to get each 5 minutes slightly faster than the previous one, which she absolutely nailed. You might just do a progression run by feel. You might not have any preset lengths of time you're going to go from slower to faster to faster to faster. It might not be in 400 metre or half mile or 1 mile intervals. It may just be you gradually get quicker by feel, and that's absolutely great because that is nailing in that pace judgment within your body and your mind. So you can see there's lots of different ways in which you might do a progression run. If you know of any other ways that people have done progression runs, perhaps you've done them yourself, please drop a comment below. We'd love to hear about different ideas for introducing progression runs into your training. So our training this week has gone fairly well. We did that progression run in the middle of the week. We completed our Friday fast feet session on the Friday, as the name suggests. And our mileage this week has been packed really into 6 days because on the 7th day, we're not going to rest like God did in the book of Genesis. We're actually doing the 3rd day of our coach and running fitness course over in Manchester. Over in Manchester that way. So hopefully on tomorrow, on Saturday, we're going to do a local park run down at Penistone for just over 3 miles, and then we're going to meet a friend and getting the extra 10 to get us over that 50 mark for the week.
So a nice mix of social running and focused running has taken place this week.
So that's a good building block on our journey towards that double good for age London qualification. I need to shoot for a 3:15, which is a big ask at the minute, but I'm actually setting my goals a little bit further than that and trying for a 75% age grading, equivalent to what I used to be able to run in my mid-30s, which comes out at about 3:07.
You can do it. So we hope that you found that brief overview of progression runs useful.
So if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. It's free to you and it helps us to grow this channel and get the word out there on different types of training, coaching and competitive running. So until next week, keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on.